Hello and welcome to Boomerang Beyond Wellness and the Have It Your Way workout series. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today's exercise is something that's been a long time coming. It's the basic squat, and I was going through my notes and went, wow, I haven't done that yet. So here we go. We're going to do a basic squat, but I'm going to be approaching it a little differently today. I'm going to present 6 ways of doing the basic squat. So it's a little bit unusual for the Have It Your Way workout series, but it's because I genuinely believe that this is probably the single most important exercise for the demographic of my channel, which is 50 and beyond, way beyond, and particularly those with chronic health issues. Now, the accessories I'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat. I will also be demonstrating a chair squat. So I have a chair out. I always work with my yoga chair. You don't need a yoga chair. But the chair that you do select, do make sure there are no wheels on it, as well as no arms to the chair. It needs to be nice and sturdy. So in addition to the mat and the chair, I'll also be using an exercise tube, 1 pair of 25-pound weights, and 1 pair of 20-pound kettlebells. Now this leads me right into the medical disclaimers and precautionary measures. Right off the bat, I'm going to say to you, if you have any health or any chronic health concern, I'm going to ask you to please observe the video before participating. And look for what you can do, because I'm pretty sure the way I teach this today, you'll find one version that is suitable to you. However, if you're not sure, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, more specifically, if you have a latex allergy, please be careful because the mats and the tubes are made out of latex, so you do want to look for non-latex or latex-free. Now, if you have any knee flexion issues, which means issues with bending your knees and then getting back up, well, I have a version of the squat for you that we're going to do in a little bit, which is called the wall sit. It's also known as the wall seat. Ditto the same approach for those of you who have been cautioned about back spine issues to not forward flex the spine, especially not to bend down to pick up something of weight. Now, this could apply to, but not exclusively to, those who have osteoporosis of the spine and also the postural deviation known as hyperkyphosis. And this is the one where there is that kind of hunched appearance. You folks, I'm really going to recommend go to the wall for that wall sit / wall seat. Also, if you're medicated or not for hypertension, if you have vertigo or GERD, please avoid dropping your head down like this when you're working out. I would really prefer that you keep your head neutral. Now, I do want to say something to those of you who work off of a mobile device, off of a phone. I was recently teaching a class live on Zoom, and I could see people in the gallery, and I noticed some females in particular like this, looking down, doing the work, and then wondering why their neck was bothering them. So it's not the exercise, folks. Please make sure your device is straight out in front of you and that you're not dropping your head down. Also, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, I do notice that when people work out with an exercise resistance tube or with the kettlebells, they tend to do this. It's a wrist extension. It doesn't matter where the arms are, the forearms, it matters the position of the hand to the wrist. So you want to make sure that it is a straight wrist. Also, especially for the version that we're going to do with the resistance tube, we're going to be holding the arms like this isometrically up at the shoulders. This means the biceps are definitely working, but also your elbows. So if you have golfers or tennis elbow, which is medial epicondylitis or lateral epicondylitis, you need to find out more specifically if that exercise is appropriate for you, because there's a lot of work there with the elbows holding it for that long. And let's move on now. So for the muscles that are affected. Now, this is a compound movement, but because we're doing it so many different ways, man, we're gonna work a lot of muscles here today. So they would be the back erector muscles, the gluteals, right, the butt, the hamstrings. Now this is also considered the posterior extensor chain of the body that the kettlebells will really target quite a bit, by the way. Also, your biceps obviously are going to get work from that isometric contraction. Now, I always like to work with squats with lifting my toes inside the shoes. I'm not lifting the ball of the foot, I'm not lifting the arch, just I'm elevating the toes a little bit, because when I go to sit back into a chair for a squat and then I come up, I'm taking a posterior pelvic tuck, squeeze of the glutes, squeeze of the quadricep muscles, to execute the movement. This makes sure that I drive the work up through that posterior extensor chain, driven just by pushing up from the heels with the toes lifted. Additionally, by lifting the toes inside the shoes, we're going to work those shin muscles that do not get a lot of love. And they love the love, why not? And it's really helpful for our gait, obviously when we're walking, and it trains those shin muscles, and it's beneficial to your knees as well as your balance. Also, just checking here if I'm missing anything else. Yeah, I am. Core muscles, but do understand that posterior extensor chain, they are core muscles as well. Of course, the abdominals, and the way that I like to work, by engaging that belly button in, by pulling it in toward the small of the back, we're working the transverse abdominis muscle, and it partially wraps around toward your lower back. It's underneath that belly button. So this is like your second, it's like an internal corset, an internal girdle. Some of you may not even know what those things are. And also we'll be working the adductor muscles, the hip adductors, so these are the inner thighs, and also the calf muscles. So I keep looking at my notes to make sure, am I forgetting any other muscles? Because it's a lot, and that's why I love compound movements for our demographic. The activities of daily living that will be benefited by doing this exercise. Well, hey, bicep involvement, right? You're holding the arms isometrically. When I go grocery shopping and I'm unloading from my car to bring into my apartment, I am holding my tote bags right here at the bend of the elbow, working my biceps rather than hyperextending the elbows and working those shoulders really hard. I'm working those biceps. So yes, this exercise will help you to be able to carry your own groceries and maybe pick up your beautiful children or your grandchildren as well. Also, it's what I call, it affects the 3 C's. So what is that? Getting up and down from your chair, in and out of your car seat, and frankly, up and down from the commode. Now, I'm going to move into some gentle reminders. Always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to when you're working out. Now, this is not a workout, but I think it's a good tip for you. And however, I'm not inviting you to quit. Okay, so you stop, take a couple of breaths, and return to the work, even if it's for 1 more repetition. Also, do please keep yourselves properly hydrated with water. Sometimes people ask me about flavored waters, bubbly water, coffee, tea. I don't know about any of that, folks. Sorry. I just know what I read in Harvard Health Studies, and it's based on water. Now, if you have any issues with kidneys or bladder concerns and you've been advised not to drink a lot of water, please follow that advice. Look for on the channel, please, a warm-up cool-down video, one video where you can interchange the movements. And I recorded this video for my channel because it is important for those of us 55 years and above to warm up for 10 minutes prior to any workout. Now look on the community tab for the RPE scale, the rating of perceived exertion scale. I provide a link there for you. And this is a subjective 0 through 10 scale, and it's an excellent tool to gauge your sense of effort. Maybe you have a pacemaker. You might want to talk to your doctor about using that chart to help you gauge your effort. Ditto those of you who are on certain medications like beta blockers. Or maybe you just don't know how to take your training heart rate. So it is advised for those who are subscribed to my channel, watch my channel, to work out at an RPE between 3 and 6. Also look for an article there. I found a great article about this exercise on Livestrong, and there's also a wonderful graphic image of a male physique executing the exercise with his muscles activated and highlighted in red. So now we're going to move into the work, but we're going to talk here first about how to stand when you're working out. So we call it an athletic ready stance, and I'm bringing my hands inside the high hip bones, and this is called the iliac crest, right up through here. And inside, you want to make sure your fingers are pointing straight down but not in. Then we line up from the inside of the high hip bone down to the knees, down to the ankles. Toes are in the same line as each other. Now turning to the side, what we want to avoid, please, and particularly females, oftentimes will go into this, they'll tip their pelvis forward. So it's called an anterior pelvic tilt. We don't want to do that. We actually want to come into a soft posterior pelvic tilt, also known as a pelvic tuck. So let's begin the work. I'm standing here in front of the chair. Now, I'm double checking. I am making sure that some part of my leg, it depends upon your height, right? But some part of your back body needs to be just lightly touching the seat, because you want to make sure that you're not all nervous. Where's the chair? And you're trying to look down to find it, because you will be looking forward. I'm lifting the toes inside the shoes, sitting up tall. Inhale, I sit back into the chair, literally, but exhale, come right back up for that pelvic tuck. Squeeze the glute, squeeze the quadriceps. Now, if you want to level it up, you can bring your hands on your shoulders and take it like that. All the breath is in and out through the nose. Inhale as you lower. Exhale on the effort to come up. Pause at the peak of the contraction right there. One more. Inhale, exhale up. Now I'm going to set the chair to the side, and we're going to next do what I call an air squat. I'm going to turn to the side this time. Again, you can do hands on the shoulders. I'm going to work with the arms out in front, athletic, ready stance, toes lifted, arms plugged into the shoulder sockets. Inhale, sit back. Exhale, up, pelvic tuck, squeeze. Don't worry, those knee flexion issues, I've got you. We're coming to you next. We're going to do 2 more. Pelvic tuck, squeeze. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up, and hold. Now, let's take it to the wall. For knee flexion, back spine flexion, osteoporosis of the spine, postural deviation of hyperkyphosis. You want to stand the same way that you do in athletic ready stance, but of course you're leaning up against the wall, right? So I'm lining up again to the high hip bone, the inside, that iliac crest, to the knees, to the ankles. Also, when you do the wall sit, aka wall seat, you want to bring your ankles slightly forward of the knees, toes same line as each other. Now, I'm just going to hold here statically, but you can, if you want to, slide up and down, and you get to gauge how much you bend your knees, particularly those with knee flexion. I do want to advise those of you who have hyperkyphosis that more than likely when you go to do this, that your head will be going into this kind of forward head projection. Therefore, you want to grab a towel, a thick towel, roll it up. We don't want it to push your head forward. You want to put it behind your head, not your neck, and you want to push your head back into the wall. So your whole posterior back, low back right on up to the back of your head, right up against the wall. So you can do that and go up and down or hold statically. Now I'm going to move into the fourth version, which is now going to be with the exercise tube. So whenever you work with an exercise tube, a couple of precautions here to make sure that the handle, if you have hand issues, let's say arthritic hands or Dupuytren's contracture or trigger finger, whatever, you want to look for a soft foam handle for your exercise resistance tube. Now when I'm going to do my squat here, I need to stand on the tube. When you stand on a tube, make sure it's underneath the arches of your sneakers. I'm going to come here a little closer because I can see I'm a little far back. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to squat on down, lift it up, hold steady here. Inhale, sit back, exhale up. Now be careful, right? Golfers, tennis elbow. Watch the elbows. Also carpal tunnel syndrome. Let's keep those wrists straight, not bent. And I think I'm going to throw in an extra one right here. Inhale, exhale up, hold. Now careful, this can really snap away from you when you lower down. Moving on now to the weights. And I'm using 25-pound weights today. Come on, hang in there, baby, stay up there. Here we go. I'm going to be on a bit of a diagonal here for you. Athletic ready stance. Inhale, sit back, exhale up. Inhale, exhale. Oh, I love this exercise. Keep that head up, medicated or not for hypertension. Let's do one more. Vertigo or GERD. Pause. Finally, to the kettlebells, which I know some of you have been really following this with the kettlebells. I've been into these lately. So facing you here, athletic ready. Inhale, I'm lightly tapping the floor. Exhale up, pelvic tuck squeeze. So if you live in an apartment, like I do, you have neighbors downstairs, don't bang those kettlebells to your floor. Just lightly tap. Inhale, exhale. Lots of forearm work with the kettlebells. Let's go for another one. And take it up, hold. And that's what we have today, folks, here on Boomer and Beyond Wellness. And if you appreciate the content here, folks, that I provide, I would so appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, give it a kind comment. Always feel free to share the videos, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because it all helps. I also have a free monthly newsletter if you would like to subscribe to it for links to more workout and yoga videos, as well as fitness tips and tricks. You know that I'm whole food plant-based, so I have wonderful chef, vegan friends and whole food plant-based friends who are culinary experts, and they provide me with recipes for you. Also, this past month we did animal pet rescue. I'll be doing that going forward as well as many other topics. And so if you would like to subscribe to it, you can go to my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com, and look for the subscribe tab. So until next time, eat your greens, eat your beans, drink your water, and be well. Thanks so much.